Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Buhari asked African leaders to resist foreign influence and speak with one voice on issues affecting the continent. Vice President Osinbajo advocates better economic integration as African parliamentarians meet in Owerri for the 48th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference. Following latest attacks on several villages by suspected herdsmen, youths in Plateau State demand an end to open animal grazing in the state. The Spanish government finalizes plans to remove Catalonia's leaders and take control of region as crowds protest in Barcelona against direct rule from Madrid. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature, which you can use to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Well, here are some of the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal today. We'll begin with this picture showing an almost fallen electricity pole at Barapo community, Awoyaya in Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling on the electricity distribution company to fix it. Well, this next image shows a flooded road at Ijako along Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Our Eyewitness reporter says that there are lots of gullies and potholes causing traffic gridlock due to the state of the bad road. He's calling on the state government for help. And still in floods is this image from Azuku Road in Aba, Abia State. Our Eyewitness reporter says that this is as a result of bad drainage system. He's calling on the government for help as well. Our final picture shows the poor state of a bridge that links the town of Kwai and Angwanrana in Java local government area of Kaduna State. Our Eyewitness reporter laments the problem and the troubles commuters go through and is calling on the government for immediate intervention. We do sincerely thank you for sending in those pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming. The River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, wants the federal government to accord the judiciary its respect as the third arm of government at all times. The governor, who was speaking during the state's 2017-2018 legal year court session in Port Harcourt, the state capital, believes that the judiciary in the country has not been allowed to function without alleged intimidation by the executive. Meanwhile, the chief judge of the state, Justice Adama Iyayi Laminkara, advocates a more efficient dispensation of justice. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ere reports.
Once a year, justices of the High Court, led by the Chief Judge, come together for a special court session at the Chief Judge's Court in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. They are joined by some senior advocates of Nigeria, senior lawyers and other members of the bar and the bench to mark the 2017-2018 new legal year of the state. Although the court sat on thousands of cases in the preceding year, the Chief Judge believes there is more work to be done.
Despite the unrelenting efforts of the judges as speedy disposal of cases, the number of cases filed in all our courts is on the increase. As we all know, the attitude of some lawyers and litigants militate against productivity of the courts and dispensation of justice.
Governor Nyesom Wike also believes the dispensation of justice can be faster than it is.
In addition to enacting the state's administrative criminal justice law to enhance the management of criminal justice, we have recently constituted the River State Law Reform Committee to review the existing laws and align them with the needs of our legal system and our development objectives.
But then, he expresses concerns over the state of the judiciary in the country.
Nigeria has enjoyed an organized judicial system since independence. Arguably, time was when our judiciary was truly independent and respected internationally as the bastion of human rights and the rule of law. But if I may ask, how has our judiciary fared in the last 2.5 years of the present democratic dispensation. While it still exists as an institution, all is definitely not well with the nation's judiciary under the watch of the federal government.
The special court session ends with the commissioning of an e-library for the state's judiciary. With 35 justices of the High Court and over 5,000 lawyers in the state, the new legal year presents an opportunity to exhibit higher standards in the dispensation of justice. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
The body of a 40-year-old man identified as Oluseyi Adekunle, who allegedly jumped off the Lekki-Ikoyi bridge into the Lagos Lagoon in an apparent suicide bid on Friday, is yet to be found. Relevant agencies resumed the search this morning. Meanwhile, the General Manager of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency has been explaining their findings on the circumstances surrounding the incident. Mr. Adekunle, a printer from Ondo State, was said to have come to Lagos for religious purpose. The latest incident comes just 6 months after a medical doctor, Allwell Orji, jumped to his death from the third mainland bridge into the lagoon.
We won't limit our search to the incident scene. The tidal waves drives body in and out. I understand the water here changes course every 6 hours, so we will follow the course. If it's to the left, we'll go the left. If it's to the right, we'll go the right. For people who are committing suicide of this nature, one thing that is clear about it is they planned it very well in such a way that help won't come immediately. We look at the bridge. Is it that Lagos is going to wire mesh everywhere? If you go to the third mainland bridge today, because of the incident of Dr. Allwell Orji, you find policemen standing on the bridge almost on a 24-hour basis, stopping anybody. You can't even trek on third mainland bridge as it were today. So when your vehicle stops, for whatever reason, the police will be there to ask you, why are you here? I had a flat tire. They will support you and ensure that you go into your vehicle again and drive off. We are not giving chances, but we will continue to do our own. I think one other way we should help in this is to do some public education about the need to be able to stand firm in the face of challenges.
The Center for Democracy and Development believes that European collaborators are a major obstacle to winning the war against corruption by the federal government. At a roundtable on corruption in Abuja, a non-resident fellow of the center, Mr. Matthew Page, criticized the role being played by foreign collaborators who act as safe haven for looted funds. The director of the center, Mrs. Idayat Hassan, also explains that the war against corruption will remain a mirage until the issue of foreign collaborators is tackled.
The UK and US helps fuel corruption in Nigeria. I think, as many of you know, when we talk about corruption in Nigeria, the focus tends to be on what's going on here. What's going on with the government of the day, at the federal level, at the state level, the cultural aspects of corruption that Nigerians wrestle with in their day-to-day lives. But very, very often, the part of the story that is missing, and the part of the story that I am very keen to elevate and to include in the discussion of corruption in Nigeria today, is the role that the international financial and property markets, governments around the world, not just the US and UK, I don't mean to pick on them, they just are the biggest recipients of this type of wealth flowing out of Nigeria. This is an important part of the narrative about corruption in Nigeria that is often lost.
Young African leaders of the Mandela Washington Fellowship have convened a knowledge transfer session to multiply their impact in Nigeria's federal capital territory. The mentoring session is set to reshape the paradigm and experience of young people towards job creation and self-industry for national development and economic growth. While the session was intended to invigorate Nigeria's teeming youth population, intimate sessions also offered new ideas and inspiration to the mentors present at the session. Our correspondent, Ajuri Ngalale, reports.
It is said that iron sharpens iron, and that is certainly true on this day as young African leaders from across sectors and disciplines share their knowledge and expertise with another generation of aspiring young Africans right here in the nation's capital.
I learned that a lot of us may be making sales, but we are not making money.
The choice of influence is very important. Progressive or regressive?
To learn from them.
These gifted young people choose progress.
So as much as we're still drawing handbags with pencils, people are drawing handbags in the other world with apps.
For this determined young businesswoman and mother who mentors here, multiplied responsibility requires multiplied effort for the greater good.
I've learned a lot in the 5 years I've been running my business, and me being able to impact other young people, to be able to empower them, to be able to start their own and do it right. Imagine what it will be if I'm able to empower somebody today and tomorrow they're hiring 5 to 10 people, giving people jobs and taking our youths out of the streets. There's no other joy I get.
Other progressive Nigerian youths offer practical experience.
We plan to train 500 rural farmers to cultivate 500 hectares of farmland to produce upwards of 1,000 tons of agricultural produce. This is going to be a pilot, and hopefully by 2020, the target is that we would have trained about 5,000 rural farmers to cultivate 10,000 hectares of farmland.
You know about your business, know it from A to Z, your competitors, your competition, your collaborators. Who are the other people doing it? Who has succeeded in it? How can I learn from their success? Who has failed?
We are no longer the leaders of tomorrow. We are the deciders of today.
This renowned publisher says leaders have much to learn from the protégés.
An event like this exposes me to opportunities to learn more, to improve on my skills, to improve on my character, to collaborate and actually expand my business frontier.
To bring some level of achievement.
Understanding that one's life is determined by the quality of one's influences, decisions, and pursuits. These young leaders find fulfillment in the progress of others, knowing that progress for another is progress for all. Ajuri Ingilali, Channels Television News.
Barely 1 week after Channels Television did a special report on the deplorable state of streetlights in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory has ordered the agency responsible for the maintenance of the facilities in the city to immediately restore proper lighting to the city centre again. The coordinator of the Metropolitan Management Council leads his team on an electricity facility tour with a view to lighten up the city. After the tour, the coordinator of the Metropolitan Management Council accuses contractors handling the maintenance of the streetlights project of negligence.
It's exactly 1 week since Channels Television aired a special report on the poor condition of the streetlights in Abuja city centre and its implication on the rising crime rate in the city. That report has led to this on-the-spot assessment of electricity facilities that power the streetlights with the intention of fixing what is wrong. Prior to this facilities tour, the coordinator of the Metropolitan Management Council, which is the agency of the Federal Capital Territory in charge of the streetlights, had accused vandals for the poor illumination of the city during our last interview with him. This facilities tour, however, is revealing that there are bigger problems than what he thought. Contractors handling streetlights project have gone to sleep, and the FCT administration is no longer getting value for monies paid.
Most of these places, there are some that we find out that their percentage working condition is less than what is normal. So we must make sure that these contractors that are handling all these areas, that their performance is low, we improve. If they cannot improve, then there are conditions in the awards of this contract. We cannot be paying money while contractors are not working. So we must review whatever is there in the terms of the contract. So the most important thing is they must work, and we are going to pay them based on whatever they work for.
At every transformer site we visited, there is a generator set filled regularly with taxpayers' money to serve as a backup for the poor electricity supply from the national grid. Yet the city continues to suffer poor illumination.
The fundamental issues we are facing is the issue of vandalism and insufficient power supply from AEDC. These are fundamental. Vandalism, insufficient power supply. And then we have other issues, associated issues such as aging cables, contractors' capacity, and also some construction zones that are going on, which are affecting our operations.
Embarking on this facilities tour is one thing, ensuring that the government gets value for the monies paid. For installations and maintenance of the street light is quite another thing altogether. As it stands, Abuja residents may have to wait for a while to see whether the directives from the FCT minister to restore proper lighting to the city center will be carried out to the later and help to restore the lost glory that Abuja city center once enjoyed at night.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's crude oil export expected to rise further in December as more local loading programs emerge. That's some business news. Join us again.